Hello ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. Hope I find you all fit and well. Last time I showed you my complete run of a popular gaming magazine. This time I'm going to show you my incomplete run of Gaming Royalty, or Gaming Magazine Royalty I should say. Now erroneously I referred to this magazine in the last video as Retro Fan. What I should have said of course is Game Fan, or to give it its full title. For most of the earlier issues it was called Die Hard Game Fan. Now this is in collecting circles, this is kind of the magazine to have. It's a very tricky magazine to collect for, and I'll explain a bit later. Now, the magazine started in October 1992, first issue, 1992. And it was a monthly magazine, and it ran for 8 years, and the last issue was December 2000. So there were 8 full volumes of 12 magazines, which by my reckoning would be 96 mags. I personally have a run of 55 issues, from volume 1, issue 6, right through to the end of volume 5, issue 12. Now, I mean, by this magazine standard, that's a fairly impressive run. Sadly, I only have a few from the final 3 volumes, but I don't know whether it, memory's a bit hazy on this one. I don't know whether it stopped being distributed or the distribution was a bit fuzzy. Excuse me, but yeah, I only have something like six issues from the last 3 volumes, but it's something I'll have to have a look at someday. Now, I wouldn't say it was impossible to collect a full run, because nothing's impossible in collecting terms, but I would say it's problematic. And the reason I say that is because the first issue was only had a very small distribution. It wasn't on general sale, and most of volume 1 are quite hard. Certainly the first 5 or 6 excuse me again. The first 5 or 6 are quite tricky. Some of the prices on eBay are high-watering. Now, also it was a magazine that was printed on very good stock, very good quality, and which makes it heavy. So, excuse me, I'll have to take a drink here. So obviously the cost of shipping from America is going to be quite, excuse me, is going to be quite high as well, which is going to add pain to the overall price of each issue. Now, when I say prices are eye-watering, for some of the earlier issues, you're looking at, I don't know, 40, 50 quid upwards, which is quite unusual for a magazine, I have to say. Now, the magazine itself, it's a wonder it ever made 96 issues, actually, because it was beset by litigation. A lot of the investors were unhappy. They thought they were being rooked on the first, earlier issues. They didn't think they were getting their dues, and so there was litigation always going on. But the magazine managed to overcome that. Also, there was a major controversy when the magazine ran an article which basically insulted the Japanese as a whole, and actually ran an apology in both English and Japanese, which is, I've never heard of that one before. And it also published a second apology, which is almost unheard of. So, you know, there's some controversy surrounding the magazine as well. Also, I mean, online there are lots of forums containing citations of dubious business practices and unscrupulous bosses. Quite an interesting magazine all the way around, actually. Although it is a very nice magazine, I have to say. And just going back to the collecting angle, if you're given the choice of getting a complete run of Die Hard Game Fan or collecting all of the commercially available Beatles records, I'd go for the Beatles records personally. But anyway, there's a little bit of history about the magazine and why it's so difficult to collect for. So anyway, let's get into it. Okay, this is the earliest issue I have. It's volume 1, issue 6. Quite a slim, they're all quite slim issues in the earlier days. Like I say, the quality was very, very good with lots of screenshots, and it covered a lot of the import stuff as well, much like Superplay, which I showed you last time. And yeah, I mean, it was a generally good magazine. It was distributed over here by distributors called Comag, who do a lot of the American stuff for W.H. Smith. Now, I can't remember whether I picked mine up from Smith's. I seem to remember getting a lot of mine from gaming shops, so I don't know I can't rightly remember what the distribution situation was, whether Smith's got it or whatever, but certainly, as I say, the last 3 volumes, I don't know why I've got so few. Anyway, there's volume 1, number 7. That's another quite expensive issue, and this is where the magazine started to get a bit thicker. It was more square bound. That's number 8, and yeah, this is where the magazine really starts to come into its own, and it's quite bulky and thick, you know. It gets thicker, mind, but yeah. So there would be number 9, I believe, and even thicker, number 10. To get into its stride now. Like I say, you know, there were lots and lots of screenshots in the magazine. That's Samurai Showdown, popular Neo Geo game, and you know, it covered the Sylphid, which was a Mega CD game, I believe. So, you know, it covered all formats, and you know, generally was quite an interesting read. That's volume 1, number 11. And the last issue of volume 1, number 12. You know, by then it's quite very heavy and thick, as you can see from the spine there. Yeah. Now this little mascot fella you might notice, just as a gimmick. Then we come to volume 2, which is even heavier. I had a feel of it. Of course, these covers weren't drawn. You know, I don't know what the technique would have been back then, but they certainly weren't drawn in the normal way. I mean, they look more like screenshots from games on the cover, but I don't know how they did that. But yeah, that's volume 2. I mean, that is very heavy. To get a couple of those shipped would cost you an arm and a leg on you know, the shipping alone. There's volume 2, number 2. I have to say the covers on the earlier issues weren't quite as impressive as Super Play, but it did have the magazine did have a sort of an anime feel about it. And for some reason, this is a thinner issue. Sonic there. That cover looks rather different to the rest I've shown you. That's volume 2, number 3. I say, fortunately, these were as I bought them, so they're all in absolutely mint condition. That's one of my favourite games, Tempest 2000 for the Atari Jaguar. And one good thing about the magazine, it covered all formats, whether the machine was popular or not. It ran them all. By and large, you know, it was an interesting read. Although there is talk that there was very often more than one review for a game. You know, sometimes 2 or 3. But the talk is that they were all written by the same person, just with a different name, which is a bit crafty when you think about it. That'll be number 4, I believe. No, we're down to 5 now. Super Street Fighter. As I say, these, apart from that Sonic one, these covers always all have a similar look about them. Anybody who knows about that sort of thing could probably tell me how they're produced, but they volume 2, number 6. Well, you can see the price down the bottom there, $2.95. That was Comag, the distributors. We have, I've lost count, volume 2, issue 7. Issue 8. I mean, the magazine's still called Die Hard going fair at this point. You can see the Die Hard just there. I don't know how well this sold, but obviously sold well enough for the backers to get the ump about not getting their dues. Be number 10. And another massive weighty volume 2, issue 11. Now that doesn't have a distributor's stamp on it, so I don't know what the deal was with these. Don't think they had an English price. No, just US and Canada, so maybe I peeled it off at some point. Anyway, that's Donkey Kong on issue 11. And the final, well, this is real. I mean, the size of that one. That is, I mean, that's like a breeze block. That's our mascot friend with, looks like a character from Doom in his visor there. on to volume 3, first issue. Yeah, I mean the price of these mid-range volumes is a little bit better. But then again, as I say, it's the postage that's going to cost you more than the actual magazine. 3 issue 2 and 3 issue 3. Number 4, Chaotix 32X game. I mean, they didn't just run covers of games that were popular, you know, for SNES and, you know, Mega Drive popular machines. They did give due to some of the smaller machines. Number 4, volume 3, number 5. The structure of the reviews didn't change any. I mean, that's you can see that. It's hard to. I don't want to pull it apart too much. That was a Japanese RPG. So you can really see the quality of the screenshots there. I mean, they didn't pull any punches when it came to spending money on good paper, because that's one of the more famous issues. It's the Virtual Boy, red and black. Nintendo's Virtual Boy. That's my favourite, one of my favourite covers anyway. That's number 7 of volume 3. And number 8. These issues are all a bit thinner, so I don't know why. The thickness of the magazines changed so much month by month, but yeah, number 9, volume 3, number 10. That's quite a nice one. And volume 3, number 11. And then we have the final volume, which is another very thick volume. It's one of the Japanese fighting games, Darkstalkers, I think it was. That was the Japanese version of it. So that's the first 12 volumes now. First 3 volumes now. Volume 4, it's still called Die Hard Game Fan. For number 1. And for number 2. Number 3. Soul Edge, which is the precursor of Soul Calibur. Quite a nice colour. Right, now by here we changed just to Game Fan. They cut the Die Hard out altogether. I don't know why that was. I've seen nothing in dispatches about that. So we're just purely Game Fan now. It's curious, some issues they had the banner down the side there. Now this one's just got a board around it. Then we're on to, where are we now? Volume 4, issue 5. Crash Bandicoot there for issue 6. And issue 7, Turok. The famous Saturn game Knights graces a cover on issue 8, is it? Yep, for issue 8. As I say, I'm really fortunate to have this complete run all in mint condition, because it means if I ever decide to go for the full set, it won't cost me quite as much. Number 9, Mario again. Oh, sorry, that was yeah, I was right. That's 9. This is 10. Legacy of Kain. Wave Race. Oh, I remember that game. That was one of the first. When the Japanese Nintendo 64 came out, I remember buying this along with Super Mario 64, and I actually played this more. When everybody went ape over Mario, but I preferred this game. It was brilliant. Wave Race. So I'm happy to have that. Volume. It's gone up to. Up to £3 by now, which is not bad. It's only a 5p increase. And then the last issue of volume 4 was there on Mate Sonic again. I mean, in the old days, magazines only used to go up by pence rather than pounds. Right, now we come on to the last volume that I have the complete set of here. 5, number 1. And Mario again. Mario Kart 64. Not the best version, but not bad either. Issue 3, Turok again. Issue 4, Castlevania. Issue 6. Oh, sorry, that was 5. This is 6. Mortal Kombat. And issue 7. Yeah, I mean, the covers have a slightly different look about them now. Issue 8. And 9. I noticed they had a lot of N64 games on the cover. I don't know whether Nintendo were slipping them some money to do that, or not, I don't know. Right, Tomb Raider for number 10. And 11. Crash again. They seem to have multiple covers of the same characters, and then there's another 64 cover, so there you go. That's the final issue of my run. We just here have get them up the right way round. Right, yeah, I don't have volume 6, number 1, which spoils my run. This is volume 6, issue 2. 6, issue 8. As I repeat, I don't know why my collection is so spotty during the latter end of its life. But I have no volume 7, that's volume 8. Number 5. Nice cover. Vagrant Story. And that will be volume 8. Number 6. Now I notice that has a different distributor there, Seymour, so I don't know whether that was something to do with it. It's gone up to $3.95 now. And then the final issue I have is volume 8, issue 8. And that's all she wrote. Yeah, so there you have it. There's my little run of Game Fan magazine. Have a look, if you're all interested in magazines, have a look on eBay at some of the American prices, and I guarantee some of them will make your eyes water. Yeah, I mean, all in all, just an interesting magazine, a nice magazine. Just happens to be the magazine that is so difficult to collect for. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that one. Okay, next time I have absolutely no idea what will be coming along, so stay safe everybody, and I'll get my thinking cap on, and I'll be with you in a week or two. Bye bye now.